Hey guys, we're Saving Forever.
I'm Kava.
I'm Kaden.
And I'm Kai, and we're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Now, LA Reid's like really excited about you guys. What is it about you guys that really caught his attention? What do you guys think it is?
I think it's because we play live instruments and we're just like little boys.
What?
Little boys.
I think it's probably because we're a band. You don't see that too often now. Yeah. We're young and we're brothers, and we play rock music. I think that's why he was so hype about us. And we came to him about a year and a half ago, and he was super hype. And now to this day, and he's still hype about us. And I think even more.
Nice. Now, I want to know that transition from gospel music to rock that you guys are doing now. What really made you guys want to make that switch, and how big was that transition for you guys?
Well, the jump, it wasn't super hard. Mm-hmm. It was like we were doing inspirational music, and different types of we just all together inspirational music, and we were like, yo, we want to be like Bruno Mars. We want to write our own music like that, and we want to have longevity, have everybody in the world relate to the music that we do. Right. So we started writing our own music, and we started doing secular music. And that's what we started. That's what we wanted to do in the first place. But our dad had us in the church to really get our chops up, and kind of get our instrument skills up. So yeah, that's how we. Right, it really is the best place to learn. That was a good comment. Yeah, and then we just transferred, and that's how we started doing secular music, rock music, alternative rock.
Now you guys came into the church doing the gospel music, but. Did you guys come in already knowing your instruments and already knowing how to write, or is that something that you guys are barely picking up right now?
Right. The first day, it was just like the people who watched us were just like, oh my God, it's so cute, but they sound bad. But they just showed like, we support you guys, and that's what we really needed at the moment. We really needed the support, so like we just thank you. We just thank them for that.
They really showed us, like there was nothing but love. That's that grandma love, like for real. No, like we were horrible. The musicians were sitting there. I'm surprised the musicians, as good as they were, they took the time out and they were like, yeah, we'll teach them. Right. And they taught us our notes. They taught us we knew our notes, we knew we were learning, but church is a whole different animal. Yeah. That's when you learn, you gotta listen, know what song they're about to play, you gotta know where to go, know when to do this, the changes, you get signals, you learn all that, everything that you do in the secular music, you learn in gospel, you really do, or in the church. I'm not even gonna say gospel, in the church. So when you're playing, so it was a very good, much needed experience in the church.
So jumping into the instruments, like you guys decided to play guitar, drums, and sing. What is it about those instruments that you do play that made you want to do them?
Well,
we didn't even choose.
Yeah, we really didn't even choose. We started on a piano, classical piano.
Okay.
Our grandma taught us piano, and we started at the age of 4 and 5, and then she taught us. I'm 13 now. She taught us for a long time. Yeah. And that's where most of our skills come from, and she taught me gospel also, and then that's where I developed my ear, and that's where I learned a lot of things from her about with gospel and with ear and everything.
She taught us classical music, and then we moved to Atlanta, and that's when our dad introduced us into the guitars and drums. So our dad put a guitar in his hands, he put a bass in my hand. He really didn't touch it. Yeah. He was like, you can stay on the piano for now. Yeah. And we moved back to Chicago. When we did that, we were kind of a little bit developed on the guitar. And that's when we kind of went and started rolling. And we got in a church, and we started to get our chops, and he started to sing, and we started forming as a band. Right. It was everything, all the steps. I don't even think our dad knew what he was doing. He was just putting stuff in our hands, and it was literally a puzzle. And I think he was guessing the perfect puzzle pieces. It really is when you think about it. It's like he was doing stuff to keep our minds focused. Right. And keep us out of the streets. Yeah,
because when we first started, we were in a bad neighborhood. Yeah, and then so he wanted us to stay out the streets because he didn't want us to go outside. So he wanted us to be occupied with something else.
He just didn't want us to. He wanted to keep us clean. He didn't want us on the streets doing drugs and all this other stuff and being in gangs. He wanted us to have a normal life. opportunities everybody should have, really. So that's what he wanted to keep us on track, and that's what when the music really came into play.
And let's jump into writing music. I mean, that's what you guys wanted to do initially. You wanted to write your own material. So tell me what that was like the first time you guys sat down. There's a piece of paper in front of you, like, all right, what are we gonna do, guys? Like,
he kind of started the train.
Well, I was just born one day. I was playing piano.
yeah,
I just started playing. I came up with this melody. I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." I grabbed the guitar and I learned the chord. I saw the notes and everything.
Yeah.
I started playing it, and then my dad was walking past. He was like, "That's pretty good. Where did you learn that?" I was like, "I made it up." And he was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I recorded. I wrote all the lyrics.
Yeah,
to
and
it.
he sent it to a producer, and and then I kind of was mad because it was like, yo, I'm writing. He ain't do that to me.
Right.
So I feel like that's what really kind of kick started it, and we each one of us wrote one song,
Right.
and those were our 3 first songs that we recorded.
crazy.
Yeah, and that's how we started writing. And if you were to play those songs today, they sound nothing like they did. Obviously,
we do
We
that.
would be embarrassed. We would be just like, that wasn't me.
That's not me.
That's not me.
So you guys are writing your new material now. You guys are all writing collectively.
Yes.
Yeah.
We come together. We have other people also. We come together and we write. He
We have
writes
a
a lot.
team of people.
He writes a lot too. He's great with music.
We
both
have
of them too.
we have different elements. He comes up with guitar parts. He comes up with some of the melodies, and he helps on the keyboard.
Right.
And I love writing, so I have a big part in the writing, and we all it's a perfect match.
Right.
And then we all have our parts to play in the studio, and we have other people come in to help us and enhance our skills.
Right.
And we watch him, we learn.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so then we could be able to, eventually we'll be able to just get into our own studios and just do it by ourselves.
And also we get into engineering too. We learned off of oh, I want to know how to do that. We want to be able to do everything by ourselves
It's
too.
like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to do this.
You guys are just gonna end up producing your own material.
Exactly.
We really want that to
We
happen.
want to get our own room, put
Yeah.
a computer in there,
Right.
start our stuff, because we all have the elements,
Right.
and we can just start recording and everything.
Start being great.
Yeah.
Start being epic. That's
Yeah.
right.
So you guys want to do rock and roll. You wanted to pursue like Bruno Mars, like you mentioned earlier. But you guys are still your own music. So how are you able to successfully make your own music when you have these kind of influences coming at you?
Honestly, we have so many musical influences. It's like Bruno Mars, Queen, a whole bunch of other people. It was really a hybrid of sounds.
Yeah.
It was like we loved Bruno Mars. He was our start, but it's not like we wanted to sound exactly like Bruno Mars. It was more like Bruno Mars was secular music, and it was just the start. We love Fall Out Boy. We love DNC. Or DNC wasn't at the time, but Fall Out Boy. We love the Jonas Brothers. We love Lenny Kravitz, Jimi Hendrix, Queen. Yeah, we love all these. We were old heads. We loved
Journey,
the Beatles. We loved all these people, and we were like, yo, we need to find a way to have that old classic rock feel, but also be current. We have to, because you can't just go.
Because kids these days, I'm not I like that, but I sound old, but
You sound old now.
yeah. So they looked at us like, you don't listen to this, you listen to this song, rap song. Like, no. It's like I was like, I'll ask him, do you know who the Beatles are? Do you know who Journey is?
Yeah.
No, I don't know who that is.
But yeah, our cousins had to introduce us into rap. Our parents get annoyed by it now, but it was like
for now it's fun to listen to.
It was like we had to do it. We had to open our eyes to rap, because you can't just be in one bubble to the point where we only listen to rock music, we don't listen to anything else. It was impossible to keep up to date and not listen to the music. So what's hot today? So you have to incorporate it in some way.
Right.
And whatever song you listen to, even when they break it down, like, oh, this is rock music, this is R&B, this is soul, this is gospel. Every element is in a hit song, and rap songs, everything.
Yeah.
So we had to incorporate all music.
It's crazy that you guys are so young, but you guys understand it, how it really works.
Right.
I mean, not a lot of artists can say the same thing.
Right. We have lots of time to think about it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people, and we have the right team. We have a lot of people spitting knowledge on it.
So now that Epic is doing that push with you guys, I saw I think it was on your Facebook page, you guys had posted like what rapper should we use for our like lead single. Can we talk a little bit about whatever that lead single may be and how that creation process was like for you guys?
Yeah, the creative of the singles. Million Ways started off. We were at home actually, and we came up with a riff. The main riff for Million Ways, and we're like, yo, that's dope, but we really didn't put any time into it, but we were like, yeah, that's dope. We're going to the studio soon, we should throw that in there. Yeah. Got in the studio with PK and J-Rock, and we just played the riff. We played a whole bunch of other stuff, but when we got to that, he was like, that's the one. And we were like, oh, really? Okay, we'll do it. Right. And we got Million Ways. We sat down, wrote it with J-Rock, and PK enhanced on it and helped us with the music.
And literally, we just started like stacking up parts to that one part, and which I loved so much of that first session. Right, it was just like, okay, got the riff, so, and then PK just added, hey, let's do this and do that, and then we just built the whole thing. It was fast, and I loved it. It was beautiful. It was dope, and we were just like, yo, this is the song. This is a great song. So yeah, I mean, I look forward to like studio sessions like that at all times. Like they're all not going to be like that, but that one was.
But it sounded like it was such like an easy, like natural process for you guys.
It was. That song came out so quick. It was like.
It was one day.
It was that song. We got there late too. It was like evening. It was evening, and we got done with that song that night. It was quick.
Right before curfew.
Yeah. It was that quick. It really was. It was very fast. And then Scott, the second single, which is My Mind, that we did with Scott Storch, that came out funny. That was the start of that was funny. We went there with Scott Storch. I knew his work, but I really didn't know how he looked. So when we went to his house, he invited us to his house, and I was just asking, "Is that Scott Storch? Is that Scott Storch?" I like whispering to my dad, "Is that him? Is that him?" And then they were just like, "No, you'll know when you meet him." We walked in and we met him. We were like, "Hey, it was nice," and I was like, "Okay, that's him." He was in front of the keyboard. He was playing stuff, and I was like, "Oh, that's dope." He had a few ideas, and we were like, "Yeah, we liked all of them," but I guess it really wasn't what we were looking for as a band. Right. So I was like, "Oh, can I play on the piano?" He looked at me like, "Are you serious? You want to ask me this is like the key?" I didn't know that the keyboard is his life. Like that's what he does. I did not know. So he was like, "Fine." He was like, "Go ahead, get on the keyboard. Let's see what you got."
Now he'll remember you for life. Like you're set.
He's not. So I started playing the keyboard, looking at him scared. I was messing up. Cause he gives you that stare. He gave me that stare like, get up. Like I was like, stop playing. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hop on the bass. You know, you guys want to jam out with him? Like he's on the keyboard, you're on the keyboard. You good? You gonna do that? And we let him go on the keyboard, and we were playing. It really was not going well. Right. And then my dad was like, you know what? You guys should just play a few songs, covers for him. We played The Police. We went Journey, and he was like, "Oh my God, Red Hot Chili Peppers." She was like, "Oh my God, I get it."
Thank you.
We went crazy. We just had a huge
actually play,
right? And then we just had a huge jam session in the studio, and we just stayed there the rest of the night talking about business, and that's how we. Then later on, he sent a few tracks, My Mind, and
he was like, "I need some time because now I hear what you guys can do. I want to make 2 songs for you.
Need to understand you guys."
Yeah. Right. And that's what he did with that jam session. And like, if we didn't do that jam session, who knows, like, what could happen?
Honestly, we would have never got My Mind if it wasn't for that. We were probably never gonna work with Scott if we didn't do that. So that was much needed. Right. So yeah, that's how we got My Mind. He sent us a few tracks. We wrote to it, and we got My Mind.